Okay, we are live now. So let's pay respect to the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Sadhu. Today we'll see each other again. Hello to everyone. Hi Pumika. Hi Luisa. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone. Today we will learn about the liberation, another kind of liberation. There are mainly two types or two kinds of liberation. Ceto Vimutti and Panya Vimutti, or the liberation through the mind or liberation by wisdom. Today in this discourse is called Susīma. Susīma the Wanderer. Here you will learn two types of liberation. Okay, and even though you cannot reach like the Ceto Vimutti or liberation through the mind, you can learn and see for yourself the wisdom of the Buddha. And then when you contemplate, over and over, or maybe in the future, when you contemplate like this, like as written in this discourse, you will be able to, liberate by wisdom. So actually, this discourse is very interesting and is quite long. It's from Samyutta Nikaya, Connected Discourses on Causation. It's quite long but it's very useful to learn. Okay, so I have attached the links for you so you can read through. Hi Yankee, hi Manao, hi Malik, hi Vivian. Okay, let's start. This is from is Samyutta Nikaya number 12.70 Susīma Parashika. Parashika means the wanderer. It's another kind of belief that people believe that there are like the large group of people that have their own belief and they wander around to wander around the country maybe and then spread their belief. So they call parashika, and this is as translation the wanderer, and this person is named Susīma. Okay, then we're gonna read together. Thus I have heard, on one occasion the Blessed One was dwelling at Rashana Rashakru, I think Rashakru, but in English they use the word Rashakaha, right? Rashakru in the bamboo grove, the squirrel sanctuary. Now on that occasion, the Blessed One was honored, respected, esteemed, venerated, and revered, and he obtained robes, alms, food, lodgings, and other medicine. The Bhikkhu Sangha too was honored, respected, esteemed, venerated, and revered, and the bhikkhus, the group of bhikkhu bhikkhuni, too obtained robes, alms, food, lodging, and also all kinds of medicine. But the wanderers of other sects were not honored, were not respected, and they did not obtain robes, alms, food, lodgings, and medicine. So now we can see that there are two groups here in this discourse. two groups of people discussed in the discourse. One is the group of the Buddha and his disciple. Another group is from another sect, another belief that they call Wanderer or Palashika. The group of the Buddha and his disciple are respected, were respected, were honored, and received all kinds of necessity, right? But another sect did not have the same thing. So in the group of the wanderer, one person is named Susīma. He was residing at Rashakrit along with the large company of wanderers. Then his company said to the wanderer Susīma, "Come, friend Susīma, lead the holy life under the ascetic Kotama, master his Dhamma, master his teachings, and teach it to us. We will master his teachings and preach it to the lay people. Thus we too will be honored, respected, esteemed, venerated, and revered, and we too will obtain robes, alms, food, lodgings, and all kinds of medicine." So, during the time of the Buddha, there are another sect as well. And when the Buddha and the teachings and all his disciples, blossom, another sect no longer were respected as they used to be. So one of the group of the wanderers said like, "Okay, you, Susīma, you should go and learn the teachings of the Buddha and then come back to us. So we will learn his teachings as well, and then we can, be the wanderer as the same, and we can receive the respect and receive the food and, things that we want." Susīma said, "Okay," and then he approached the venerable Ananta. So he came to see venerable Ananta and, asked like, "I wish to lead the holy life in this Dhamma and discipline. Okay, I want to lead the holy life as you, venerable Ananta." Then the venerable Ananta took the wanderer Susīma and approached to the Buddha. He paid homage to the Buddha, sat down, and then said, "I wish to lead the holy life in this Dhamma and discipline." The Buddha said, "Well then, Ananta, give him the going forth." And then after that, the wanderer Susīma get the higher ordination under the Blessed One. So you might wonder like, oh, like he's from another sect, but the Buddha open hand, welcome with open heart to this wanderer. Maybe the Buddha did not know the true intention of the wanderer Susīma, maybe, but we will find out afterward. Now, on that occasion, a number of bhikkhu had declared final knowledge in the presence of the Blessed One. He declared the final knowledge that he had attained the arahantship. And this is like the famous quote. The famous quote is here. Hang on. "We understand. Destroyed is birth. The holy life has been lived. What had to be done has been done. There is no more for this state of being." So no more birth. And the holy life, what is it? The holy life is the Noble Eightfold Path. The Noble Eightfold Path has been lived. What had to be done has been done. There is no more for this state of being. No more rebirth. And this is like the destination, arahantship. And the group of people, the group of bhikkhu had declared this. And that area, the venerable Susīma, he's now a bhikkhu as well, heard about this. So he approached those bhikkhu, exchanged greetings with them, and then, and then asked those group of bhikkhu who had declared the arahantship. He asks, is it true that you variable ones have declared final knowledge in the presence of the Blessed One, saying that no more rebirth, and then the holy lives has been lived, what had to be done has been done, there is no more for this state of being? That group of arahants said, yes, friend. Wanderer Susīma asks, then knowing and seeing thus, do you variable ones view various kinds of spiritual power? Actually, there's like more in detail. Like, do you have like the spiritual power, such as having one, you become many, having been many, you become one? Just like, I can't remember the name, but there's one bhikkhu. He has the ability, to like separate himself. Like now he is one, right? But one evening he just like disguised himself to be like 100 people, sweep the leaf in the monastery, something like that. So this is some kind of spiritual power that you can gain through the arahantship. Mhm. Okay. You appear and vanish. You go unhindered through a wall, through a rampart, through a mountain as though through space. You dive in and out of earth as though it were water. You walk on water without sinking as though it were earth. Seated cross-legged, you travel in space like a bird. With your hand, you touch and stroke the moon and sun so powerful and mighty. You exercise mastery in the body as far as the Brahma world. So Susīma asked this. And then the variable ones, the group of arahantship said, no, friend, no, I don't have this kind of spiritual power. So next, Susīma asked, do you hear both kinds of sounds, the divine and human? Do you have like the divine ear element, which is purified and surpass the human, so you can hear the divine and hear human as far as like long, yeah, as far as near? Can you hear this? And then the arahantship, the group of arahants said, no, friend, I cannot hear. Then Susīma asked, knowing and seeing thus, do you, variable ones, understand the minds of other beings and persons, having encompassed them with your own minds? Do you understand the mind with lust as the mind with lust, a mind without lust as a mind without lust, a mind with hatred as a mind with hatred, a mind without hatred as a mind without hatred, a mind with delusion or without delusion, as contracted or as an exalted mind, a surpassable mind as surpassable, and an unsurpassable mind as unsurpassable. So do you really have the ability to know the mind of others as they are? For example, this person has lust, at that moment, the lust possess in that person's mind, and then you know it. You know that this person still has lust, this person still has hatred, this person, the mind is concentrated or something like that. Do you have that ability? And the group of arahants said, no, friend, I don't have that ability. Susīma then asks, do you, variable ones, recollect your manifold past abodes? That is, one birth, two births, three births, 30, 40, 50, 100, 1,000, 100,000 births. Do you recollect your past life? That I was so named, of such a clan, with such an appearance, such was my food, such my experience of pleasure and pain, such my lifespan, passing away from here, I was reborn elsewhere, and 2, I was so named blah blah blah. Do you have an ability to, recall or recollect your past life? Not one, but 100 and 100,000. Do you have that ability? And then a group of arahants said, no, friend, I cannot do that. Then Susima Wanderer asks again, do you, variable ones, with the divine eye, which is purified and surpassed the human, see beings passing away and being reborn, inferior and superior, beautiful and ugly, fortunate and unfortunate, and understand how being fare on in accordance with the karma? Can you see when people die and then reborn again, maybe in the human realm or the Deva realm or the Brahma realm, or you be reborn as animals? Can you see that? And then the group of Arahants said, no, friend. Okay, then do you, variable ones, dwell in those peaceful deliverances that transcend forms, the formless attainments, having touched them with the body? The group of Arahants said, no, friend. Here now, variable ones, this answer and the non-attainment of those states, how could this be, friends? So the Wanderer Susīma wonder, like, oh, I've heard that when you declare, or maybe when you reach the arahantship, then you're gonna have the spiritual power. You're gonna have like the divine ear element, eye element, and you can see many things, see people die and then reborn again, or maybe you can remember your past life, or then you can read the minds of others. But if you say that you reach the arahantship, but you cannot do any of these things, how can that be possible? And then the group of the arahants said, we are liberated by wisdom, friend Susima, meaning they attain Panya Vimutti. Panya Vimutti, or the liberation by wisdom. Then Susima Wanderer said, I do not understand in detail the meaning of what has been stated in brief by the variable ones. I can understand it just in brief. It would be good if the variable ones would explain to me in such a way that I could understand in detail what has been stated in brief. Like, can you elaborate it? Can you explain more in detail? I cannot understand just one sentence that we are liberated by wisdom. But the group of arahantship said, whether or not you understand, friend Susima, we are liberated by wisdom. So the Wanderer Susima, like, he puzzled, and then I did not get it, something like that. So he rose from his seat and then approached the Buddha and then asked, and then at first he told the whole story to the Blessed One, to the Buddha, and then the Buddha said, first, Susima, hang on. First, Susima, we are liberated by wisdom, comes knowledge of the stability of the Dhamma, afterward knowledge of Nibbana. And then the Susima Wanderer said, I do not understand. He just new to this, the holy life, and suddenly he learned all these things. So he said, I do not understand in detail, the Buddha, venerable sir, the meaning of what was stated in brief by the Blessed One. It would be good if the Blessed One would explain to me in such a way that I could understand in detail what has been stated in brief. Then the Buddha said, whether or not you understand, first comes knowledge of the stability of the Dhamma, afterward knowledge of Nibbana. And then the Buddha explained in detail. And you can learn through this, explanation by asking question. So this is another method that the Buddha preached, the Buddha taught. You can see this method in Anattalakkana Sutra as well, which is very, very famous and very good. Anatta is about non-self, right? And you see here again. Then the Buddha, then you can, answer along with this. The Buddha asked, what do you think, Susīma? Is form permanent or impermanent? The form, like the body, like the house, the tree, things that just the form, but no consciousness, just the form. Is it permanent or impermanent? Then the Susīma said, impermanent, Venerable Sir. Why? Because, your hair turn gray. It cannot stay black through all like your life until you die. You cannot turn black. It's gonna change. It's impermanent. Maybe the tree, the house, things can be destroyed. It's impermanent, right? And then the next question, what is impermanent? The thing that is impermanent, is it suffering or happiness? Susīma answer, suffering, Venerable Sir. Is what is impermanent suffering and subject to change fit to be regarded that this is mind, this I am, this is myself? No, Venerable Sir. So this is very important question that you can ask yourself, when you see things like, okay, is my feeling now that arise, the happiness arise, or the anger arise, is it permanent or impermanent? It's actually impermanent because it can change. If the thing that is impermanent, then is it considered suffering or happiness? Of course, it's impermanent, it's always change, so it can be regarded as, it is regarded as suffering. So if something that is impermanent, suffering, can you regard it as mind, as if you can control it, you have power over it? No. If things that is impermanent, suffering, always change, transient, it should not be regarded as mine. This is me, this is what I am, this is my belonging, something like that. So this question goes through the 5 aggregates: form, feeling, perception, volitional formation, and consciousness that the Buddha asked Susīma, is it permanent or impermanent? Of course, it's impermanent. Is it suffering or happiness? Of course, it's suffering. Can you regard it, should you regard it as mine, I am, my belongings? No. You do not have power over it. You cannot control it. My hair do not turn gray. No, you cannot control. Please remember it until the end of your life. No, you cannot control the memory. You cannot control the feeling. It depends on the contact, right? When you see red rose, the flower, you feel one feeling. When you turn around and you see new book, they have another feeling. So the feeling or the volitional formations or the perception depends on the contact or the phassa in Pali language. And everything, the 5 aggregates, impermanent, suffering, not self, because something that is impermanent and suffering, should you regard it as self? No. So after the Blessed One asks all these questions about the five aggregates. Then the Buddha said, seeing thus, Susīma, the instructed noble disciple experiences revulsion towards form, revulsion towards feeling, revulsion towards perception, volitional formations, and consciousness. So the instructed noble disciple experiences revulsion toward the five aggregates. Experiencing revulsion, he becomes dispassionate, viraka. Through this passion, his mind is liberated because you detach. No more passion toward it, detach, and the mind is liberated. When the mind is liberated, here comes the knowledge. When entirely liberated, then here comes the knowledge that it's liberated, the mind is liberated. He understands destroyed is birth. The birth is destroyed, no more birth. The holy life has been lived. What I have done from long time ago and up until the present moment, that you realize that the mind is 100% liberated from all the kilesa and all those things. Then you know that the holy life has been lived. You have accomplished. You have reached the destination. You have reached the final goal. What had to be done has been done. What I have been practiced in the past, up until now, I had done what has to be done. Complete, finished. There is no more for this state of being. I do not have to reborn again and then to practice again and then to, go through these stages again. No more. Then you will know for yourself. And then the Buddha asks, do you see, Susīma, with birth as condition, aging and death comes to be? So the birth is the condition for the aging and death, right? When you are born, of course, you cannot escape aging and death. So the Buddha asks, do you see with birth as condition, aging and death comes to be? Yes, Venerable Sir, Susīma replied. Do you see, Susīma, with existence as condition? Here comes birth. With clinging as condition, existence comes to be. With craving as condition, clinging comes to be. With feelings as condition, craving comes to be. With contact as condition, feeling comes to be. With the six sense basis as condition, contact comes to be. With name and form as condition, the six sense basis comes to be. With consciousness as condition, name and form comes to be. With volitional formations as condition, consciousness comes to be. With ignorance as condition, volitional formation comes to be. Yes, Venerable Sir. So this, the Buddha talk about the dependent origination, paticca samuppada, dependent origination, that things are conditioned, things are dependent. With existence, then birth, how can I say? Normally, when we talk about paticca samuppada or the dependent origination, 12 links dependent origination, we're going to talk about avijja, ignorance. Avijja paccaya sankhara. Avijja is like the topmost, right? Avijja, ignorance, and then volitional formations. Because of volitional formation are conditioned, then consciousness, and then name and form, and then sixth sense space, and then contact. Because of there's contact, then there's feeling. When there's feeling with ignorance, then craving, and then clinging, and then birth, and then existence. We're gonna talk from top to bottom, starting from ignorance, right? But here the Buddha talk from the bottom up. Okay, now we have existence, and all the suffering comes as the result, right? How how can we have the existence? Because of birth. How can we have the birth? Because of we still have clinging. Why? Because craving. Why? Because feeling. Why? Because contact. Why? Because there are six sense spaces. Because you have eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind. Then you can see, you can hear, you can smell. And because of that, plus ignorance or delusion, you see things and then you grab that thing as self with atta, no, with self, or self. Because of that, then you're going to be um, have the feeling and have the craving and then clinging and then be born again, right? So here in this paragraph, the Buddha talked from the bottom to up. With ignorance as condition, volitional formation comes to be. And then Susīma, a wanderer, said, "Yes, venerable sir, I now understand. Do you see, Susīma, with the cessation of birth comes cessation of aging and death?" So now this is another thing that we're not gonna talk about the arise, but we're gonna talk about the passed away, um, the cessation. And then again, we talk about with the cessation of existence comes, hang on, comes the cessation of birth. With the cessation of clinging comes the cessation of existence. With the cessation of ignorance comes the cessation of volitional formation. Now we talk about the 12 links of dependent origination in the cessation pattern. And then Susīma said, "Yes, venerable sir. Okay, now this is about the 12 links of dependent origination. After that, I will answer the question later, okay? So after that, the Buddha said, knowing and seeing thus, now you see all the pattern, all the Dhamma, what is, what is there, what is real. Knowing and seeing this, do you have various kinds of spiritual power? No. Do you hear both kinds of sounds, the divine and human? No. Do you understand the minds of other beings and persons? No. Do you recollect your past life? No. Do you see the beings passing away and being reborn as animal, as deva, as human, as Brahma? No. Do you dwell in those peaceful deliverances that transcend forms, the formless attainments, having touched them with the body? No. So the Wanderer Susīma said, "No, venerable sir, no, venerable sir, no, venerable sir." And then the Buddha said, "Hear now, Susīma, this answer and the non-attainment of those states, how could this be?" Then the venerable Susīma prostrated himself with his head at the Blessed One's feet and said, "Venerable, I have committed a transgression in that I was so foolish, so confused, so inept, that I went forth as a thief of the Dhamma in such a well-expounded Dhamma and discipline as this. Venerable sir, may the Blessed One pardon me for my transgression, seen as a transgression for the sake of future restraint." The Buddha replied, "Surely, Susīma, you have committed a transgression in that you were so foolish, so confused, so inept, that you went forth as a thief of the Dhamma in such a well-expounded Dhamma and discipline as this. Suppose, Susīma, Suppose they were to arrest a bandit, a criminal, and bring him before the king, saying, "This man is a bandit, a criminal. Impose on him whatever punishment you wish." The king would say to them, "Come, men, bind this man's arms tightly behind his back with a strong rope, shave his head, and lead him around from street to street and from square to square, beating a drum. Then take him out through the southern gate and to the south of the city, cut off his head." What do you think, Susima? Would that man experience pain and displeasure on that account? Of course, yes, Venerable Sir. Although that man would experience pain and displeasure on that account, going forth as a thief of the Dhamma in such a well expounded Dhamma and discipline as this has results that are far more painful, far more bitter, and further it leads to the hell, to the netherworld. But since you see your transgression as a transgression and make amends for it in accordance with the Dhamma, we pardon you for it. For it is growth in the noble one's discipline when one see one's fault as a fault or transgression as transgression, makes amends for it in accordance with the Dhamma and undertake future restraint. And this is it for this discourse. So, to summarize, this discourse, for you who have just come, this discourse, the Susīma, the Wanderer, or Susīma Parashika, is something that we can learn about the liberation, right? The kinds of liberation. At first, we know that, okay, not only during the Buddha's time, in that period, not only just one group and one belief, right? There are older belief, older than the Buddha's, right? They have the Palashika, Palipashaka, Palipashok, the wanderer. They have the Dharati, another sect, and they have like the group of the Buddha and his disciple. So another group, seeing that, oh, the Buddha received respect, received like alms, food, lodging, and all sorts of things. They want it as well. So they send the Susīma to come and then learn the teachings of the Buddha. And then later on can go back to his sect, to his people, and then they can gain wealth, they can gain fame, just like the Buddha's group. However, when Susīma comes to the Dhamma and discipline, at first, that I mentioned that, oh, the Buddha allowed that person to have the high ordination so fast. Why? Because the Buddha didn't know about his true intention. But now we can see that, no, it's not like that. He know from the start that this is like the thief of the Dhamma. But yeah, you can come and you can experience from yourself, and then you know what is right and what is wrong, and then you know the true Dhamma, the teachings of the Buddha. And after that, when you know that you have done something wrong, and then you know that, okay, I have committed something wrong, and you declare, and you can make amends. And this is the growth in the noble disciples' discipline. Just like the bhikkhu and bhikkhuni, when we have done something wrong, not palashika, not the serious one, then we can tell each other, just like the Christianity do that. Did we have, okay, I have done this thing wrong, and then you just go forward, make amends, and then future restraint yourself. This is the way in the Buddha's teaching. And also about this discourse, that is very useful to learn, because we can learn about the liberation, as I mentioned earlier. And now we know that, okay, there are another kind of liberation that you possess this kind of like special quality like the spiritual, the psychic power. You can read other person's mind. You can recollect your past life. You can see from far away. You can hear like divine sound, something like that. That is another kind of liberation. We call Ceto Vimutti, liberation of the mind. But some people don't have the Ceto Vimutti. They don't possess those special qualities because they are liberated through the wisdom, by the wisdom, which is called Panya Vimutti. So when you search like liberation or Vimutti, you can see this word Ceto Vimutti and Panya Vimutti, liberation of the mind and liberation by wisdom. Actually, there is some like the like a theory, like I'm not sure where is it, but they have like the rank, like okay, the rank of the noble disciple, apart from the arahant, the non-returner, the one returner, and the stream enterer, but they have the rank of the arahant. For example, the top rank is the arahant who liberated through Ceto Vimutti and Panya Vimutti both. Because when you attain the liberation through the mind and by wisdom, you will have, possess the threefold knowledge. You will possess the sixfold super knowledge, and you have gained the four analytic insight. Apinya sampati, no, what's it called? Pati sampata. Hang on, I don't know. Apinya, Tevicha, Pati Sampita. This is like in Thai accent. So now you know that, okay, there are some arahant who liberated by wisdom only, just like in this discourse. Or some people liberated in both ways, Ceto Vimut and Panya Vimut. And most of the Ceto Vimut and Panya Vimut will have the special, the threefold knowledge, the sixfold super knowledge, and the four analytic insights. Just like the Susīma asked, like, oh, you reach the arahantship. Can you see things? Can you have the spiritual power? Can you like read the mind? And that group of arahantship said, no, because they are liberated. They were liberated by wisdom of Panya Vimutti. So actually, when we learn about this, it gives like the then we, even though we are not so expert in meditation, you cannot have like a special power, but you can have the peace of mind that, okay, maybe my path, the path that I should lead is the wisdom. You can cultivate the wisdom by vipassana, the insight meditation. Even though the meditation divided into two types, right? Tranquility and insight. When you practice a tranquility, just like to suppress, then you have to reach you have not reached, but then you have to practice more in the insight. So then Ceto Vimut, the tranquility meditation, and Panya Vimut, insight meditation. Or if you say like, maybe I'm not so good at meditation, but I love to learn, I love to listen, I love to contemplate, I love to reflect, and love to see, in the things in nature. So maybe you, in another group, Panya Vimutti, you can cultivate the insight meditation, something like that. Yeah. Okay, so now it's question and answer session. Hi Matthias, hi Shayanta, good morning from New Jersey. Hi Pachalapon Tibai, I think he's a monk. Where are you from? I'm from Thailand. Same place as you are. Hi Dharma learner, good morning Ayya and everyone here today. All keep safe and well. Hi Maria, hi Suz, hi Edward, hi Usha. Suz asks, dear Ayya, ignorance here, is it ignorance regarding Four Noble Truth? Yes, it's the same thing. Ignorance or delusion here regarding the Four Noble Truth. As also the ignorance regarding the Four Noble Truth, and also ignorance about, see things as they really are. That you have delusion, see the five aggregates as self. There's another kind of ignorance as well. You see things as permanent. You see things as happiness, or you see things as not happiness. You see things as self is actually considered the ignorance as well. I want to talk about the word happiness here. Happiness here is a translation of the word tukha and sukha, right? But the tukha bhava or the state of tukha, the suffering, actually is mean that it cannot last long. So the happy feeling is considered suffering because it cannot last long. It's gonna change. When you feel happy when you laugh because of the comedy show, eventually you're gonna change because you cannot laugh for like 2 hours. Gonna hurt. So the happy feeling gonna change as well. So it's tukha. Here, it means not gonna last long. But normally tukha, they're gonna use the translation as suffering, but yeah, actually has in-depth meaning. Johan said, it seems the Dhamma is permanent, or what do you think? Dhamma is just the thing, Dhamma Thatu, the Thatu, the element, Dhamma Thatu. It's just a thing that is real, but it's just something that is real. But when you contemplate the Dhamma, when you be mindful about the Dhamma or things that arise in the mind, right? The Dhamma arise in the eye, or in the mind. The memory, the perception, the volitional formation, impermanent. We're not going to talk about the permanent or not, but Dhamma is something that is real. The Buddha did not invent the Dhamma. He did not invent the Dhamma, but he know and see the Dhamma. It's just like the truth, like universal truth, is like this. Not only the Buddha, the Gautama, not only this Buddha, but many, many, many Buddhas from the past, he attained the same teachings. The five aggregates, impermanent, is considered suffering, it cannot last long, and is not self. And the Nibbana is permanent, is happiness, is just like the same, stay the same. And also not self. So this is just like the universal truth. Is the truth, even like long time ago up until now, it's just the same. But when we learn, when we read, when we something like that, and it change to be like the memory, the perception, because we have the perception through the Dhamma. When we listen to the Dhamma now, each person has different memory, has different perception about it, right? Different volitional formations about it. And all the five aggregates, all those things impermanent. Yeah. I just read not the whole book, but just the cover of the book because today I try to make like the like compile the books to make like the small library here in the monastery, and then I found out one book. I just read the cover. The monk said that many kinds of I don't know how to explain, but many monks, different monks, have different method, different memory, perception, but the Dhamma, the teachings of the Buddha is just the same. If we reach the true Dhamma, it's the same. Even though this person or other Ayya or other Bhante, if we know and see, the Dhamma is going to be the same. Even though, all the Tipitaka, all the Pali Canon, when you read discourse, that discourse, all the essence of the teachings of the Buddha, the same. Mhm. Dhamma learner said, thank you, Ayya. When you read a sutra, your metta is very strong. Thank you. It helps us understand the meaning more thoroughly. I feel it's another lesson we're gaining from your presentation. Thank you. Jim Makari said, good morning, good afternoon from Ireland. Thank you for your teaching and blessing. Hi. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Johan said, I don't quite understand why Susīma was called a thief of the Dhamma. Was it because of impure intention or what? Yes, because at first he said, like the friends of his said, you go and then learn the teachings of the Buddha and then come back to our troop and then spread the teaching. So not for the right understanding, but for the wealth, for the fame. If we teach the same thing at that person of that group, then we can have more food, then we can have more respect. So this considered the thief of the Dhamma because not pure intention, but not intention to have the right understanding, but intention for the wealth, for the fame. Mhm. Mana asks, would you say the Buddha perfected the Dhamma? I would say that the Buddha perfected the discipline, perfected his practice, his understanding until he reached, the Nibbana, Nirvana is the third noble truth, right? Nirodha, Nibbana, Vimutti is the same meaning. So this in Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, the Buddha talk about the duty of the noble four, of the four noble, the four noble truths, right? The third one, Nirodha, Nibbana, is something that we have to attain. Meaning, it's there, and the Buddha reached the knowledge, that this is what it is. This is Yatha Bhuta Yanatassana. Yatha Bhuta Yanatassana. Yatha, just like that. Bhuta, as what it is. Yana, the knowledge. Tassana, see. Meaning you see, you have the knowledge and then you see for yourself that things of the things that as they really are. Or arise and cease. Or not gonna last forever. Or you do bad deeds and then you go to the bad destination. Or good deed, go to good destination. You follow the holy life, the noble eightfold path, and then you can out of samsara, something like that. So it's something that The Buddha perfected his practice, his discipline, and with the right understanding, and he reached or attained the nirvana. Hai Ham Guru Hai Sut said, Dear Ayya, when one listens to the sutta like this, we feel for some time peaceful and we feel like it's the truth, but we soon forget with time. But if one has breakthrough, he won't forget. Um, you forget because the memory is not gonna last forever, right? It's impermanent. Memory is impermanent. It's normal. But for the one who has breakthrough, he doesn't have to remember. He doesn't have to remember anicca dukkha anatta. Not he doesn't have to remember because he sees that is the nature of everything. He knows, and he see. So here in the PowerPoint, I highlight this word. Knowing and seeing. The Buddha said, know and see. Know and see is different thing. It's different. For example, when you said, oh, that is my friend. My friend James. James is my friend. I have heard that James live in a village, or he live in a village. The roof of his house is in red color. I know that. Oh, James live in a village. The house in red, when you go and pick him up, you go to the red house, okay? This is like the knowledge. Just like here, we learn the sutta, we have the knowledge. But can you see it as it's really, see things as they really are? Maybe not. Maybe sometimes, some moments, but not all the time. But when James said like, okay, come with me, I'm gonna show you my house, and then you drive with James, and then now I see, this is a village, the sides like this, and then you turn right and then you turn left, and then now I get it. It's not red. For me it's like pink. For me it's pink, it's not red. And now I see, I have the knowledge, I know, and I see. So when people have like the breakthrough, like the noble disciple, he doesn't have only just the knowledge. No, not only that. They have to see as well. Just like the first noble disciple, the stream enterer, Sotapanna, the Buddha said, he is the one who see Nibbana, that is real. Normally, just like us, like ordinary people, not the noble disciple. We know this is Sotapanna. We have to abandon this, state. We have to reach, all the things from books, from what you have heard, which sometimes you just forget. But when you have like the breakthrough, then you see for yourself, it's real. No one have to, teach me or to convince me that it's real. I know for myself. I see for myself. I not just like the place, but I see that it's real. Something like that. So know and see is different thing. So it's normal for us, not only you, but maybe like the monastic people, we sometimes, a lot of time, we forget. I think I remember this, but I don't know where, that I have heard about this. We forget things. But when, I don't know, if we have like the breakthrough, It's not about the knowledge anymore. It's not about the memory anymore because we see in our life. Okay. JM asks how I forget the girl that I love the most because of her or because of my love to that girl is giving me a depression because of the clinging, the clinging, clinging to the notion of someone because of craving, because of clinging, but ultimately because of ignorance, because of delusion. You think of, like when you have like the whole perception. For example, I think it's gonna take longer than an hour. Sorry. Another day, when I water plants here in the monastery, and then it just come up. Oh yeah, I think maybe this one that we call volitional formations. This is we call perception or memory. Have you noticed that your memory, maybe we encounter the same experience, the same incidents, like me and then James have the same experience, but we have the different memory, different perception because it's from another, the different angle, different background in the past, different perception now. Because background in the past, because of the trauma, because of what you have heard, because of you have seen prior to this moment, form the mental factor, form like the volitional formation, form the memory. So sometimes we have the distorted memory and we think that it's real. For example, I have heard the story of my master, my teacher got into a car accident. I did not go with her, but I have listened to her, tell the story over and over and over from my master, from another passenger, from many people. And from that hearing, I, without knowing, have formed the picture, volitional formation in the head. And when I tell other person like, oh, the car accident is like this and like that, and then people, just drive come and then boom, and then they go to a hospital and blah blah blah. And then that person asks me, oh, you explained so clear. Have you been in that car? Did you, you know, be in the car accident? Did you heard something? And just like, oh, no, I did not have the car accident. I did not, stay in the same car as them. I just heard from them and then form like imagination, the image, something like that. And without knowing, I thought it was so real that I can see like the scene, just like the movie. And then, oh, the memory is not actually real. It's just something that you form from your past experience. Because I remember the lane of the road or something like that. You form the image here and you think that it's real. And when you act and when you respond and when you tell, you think like it's real, but it's not real. It's just something that you form here. And at that moment, it's just like, oh, now I get it. And we live with like the image that we form from the experience, from what you have heard. For example, if I say now, fish, one person will think of small fish, another person will think of like the big fish, one person is think of like the fish in the pan, one another person think of the fish in the bowl or something like that. People have the perception, like different perception. So while we take it so seriously, about the perception that we like different. So at that moment, just like JM Boyd asked, like maybe it's just something that you form in your head that she's the one, she's gonna be the love of my life, only one, only in this life, gonna love only just one person. You form the belief, you form the perception, volitional formation, things like that, and you believe in that thought, which is not actually real. So how? What is the cause? You say like, because of what? Because of her, or because of the love that you give her, give me, give you the depression? It's because of delusion, because of ignorance, that you think of the memory is real, but no. Because like we have experienced love, a lot in our life, right? For me, I ordained when I was 33, but now I'm nearly 40, 39, nearly 40. So sometimes when we say like, oh, this is gonna be the love of my life, this is gonna be the last person, I'm gonna marry this guy, but it turns out like, no, I can love another person as well, and I want to marry that guy again, and I want to marry another guy again, so it can change. James asked, maybe I should stop to communicate to her to forget her. Yeah, you should stop the contact, the phassa. Is it in the Dhamma word? When you stop, you feel because you see, because of the contact. If you see the same thing and then gonna same feeling, same thought, bring back the memory, something like that. So another way to do it, to change the contact, change the perception, change the what's it called, the view, what change what you see. So there's like the I don't know what's it called. I think I've heard some study that how to recover from the heartbreak, is to like maybe stop seeing that person, block or something like that for 30 days maybe, and then you will change. You have another interest, something like that, and you should find a way. So I hope you understand about the discourse that I have brought today, the Wanderer Susīma, and also the thing that we have discussed today. What I can tell you, JM, is that loving kindness is much greater than the love as a couple. So you can switch the love as a couple to loving kindness, starting from loving yourself in the right way, and to focus, shift your focus to something that is healthy to you first. When you start to love yourself, and then you can spread the loving kindness, which is much greater than the love as a couple. So thank you everyone for listening to the Dhamma today. Hi Andy, hi Gita Brown. Thank you Joanne, thank you Pumika, and then James Boya. Thank you Aaron Gasser, thank you for your teaching. So that's it for today. See you again next Thursday. Okay, let's say Sadhu 3 times. Sadhu, 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 Anumodhami. May you all be healthy, happy, and then be able to live with the vulnerable truth in your life, that you know that okay, the life is just like this. It's gonna be like this. Things gonna change. Things gonna, it's not permanent. It's impermanent. It's transient, and it should not be regarded as self. And then you should learn the cause of suffering. For example, if you suffer, if you have like the bad feeling, then you should find the cause of suffering and then get rid of the cause of suffering. And then you should be, focus on the supreme happiness, which is nirvana. No more hatred, no more greed, and no more delusion or ignorance. And then how to attain the nirvana, or how to attain the supreme happiness, is through the Noble Eightfold Path. In short, precept or discipline, meditation, samadhi, and then panya, cultivate the wisdom, the right understanding, and eventually we all will reach the right liberation, even though it's from Ceto Vimutti, liberation through the mind, or liberation by wisdom, or both. But eventually, may we all reach the right liberation and reach the supreme happiness. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. ค่ะ Have a good day, everyone.